But she said that, what is it, the dentist theory? Where you take that card and when you go to their party and then you book a party with them for 6 months out. I'm like, that's a wonderful idea.
I mean, it doesn't need to be stressful and hard. And selling, you're not salespeople, you're consultants. Consultants consult. You'd much rather go to a consultant than a salesperson. Yeah, everybody likes to be consulted. Nobody likes to be sold.
That's why when I go to a party, I always sit down. Like, I show them, I'm like, let me just show you guys how to do this and just go over what a little bit is. And I'm like, as soon as I'm done, you have any questions, just come ask me. I sit on the floor, I sit next to the people, and I don't stand up there and just pace and wait for sit. No, I sit and I'm smelling. Like, I can't help myself. The second I'm smelling, I'm asking about their house, I'm asking about their husband.
Smell this one.
I know, the kids, and I'm into everything. I never stand up there and be like, oh, you gotta buy this and you should buy. They already know what they want. I'm like, if you come to me, I'll have you combine and save. I was like, we have great packages in the front of the book. You know, if you need help, I'll do your tax. Really, it is so easy. And if you sit and just go on personal note, you're so much more comfortable.
And she was like I was saying, I'm like really like shy person, and I'm not pushy. Like I'm 100% not a salesperson. Like my theory is, if you want something, you want it. If you don't, you don't. And I'm not one of those people that I'm gonna try to talk you into it. It's just not me. But Ruth's like, Lori, your business is what you make it. If you don't go out there, it's not going to come to you, which is the truth. So I was like, okay, like, how do you like do this? So I was going to people's house. I was like putting myself out there, and I would go to people's house and be like, look, I started my own business. I'm doing Scentsy. And people are like, what's Scentsy? So then that was like the perfect opportunity. And I would literally, like you said, I would sit on people's carpet with them, and you know what I mean, because I had my bag, and instead of them doing it, and you know, because people are like, oh, you don't want to mess somebody's stuff up. And I'd be like, no, just dump it out. I would dump my whole bag out in the middle of their living room and be like, here, you know, and like a couple girls, I'd be like, oh, here, smell this one. Like a lot of people smell it, you know what I mean? So, I don't know.
I think they
I mean, that's a really good idea.
Like, I'll ask them, like, oh, what do you like? Oh, but
Yeah.
you like that, but smell this. I love that. I didn't even think I would like that. Really, the more personal you are, the better off it is.
Most
I'm
people
telling
don't
you.
even know what they like and what they don't.
Exactly. They don't.
They have no.
They
Like,
don't.
you know, you have people that say, I only like clean smells, and the next thing you know,
They're buying bakery.
they have sugar cookie
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like a citrus. And,
Or sometimes you don't think you're going to like something, and you end up liking it.
well, the beach, you know, is a perfect example of that. What the heck is beach? You know, you don't even know how to. I don't even know how to explain it. It's delicious. It's my favorite. Smell it. You know, and that's how you.
Like
initiate people, I think, to different things.
Like for me, like the lemongrass, like the first time I ever smelled it, I was like, because I am not a lemony person, I'm like, no. But then I had a party, and an order came in, and it was a lemongrass bar. And the packaging, the thing was broke off of it, and the lid wouldn't stay shut. And I was like, well, I can't sell this to somebody, and that's not right. So I'm like, and I didn't think, call the company and then replace it. I'm just thinking, like, oh, what am I going to do now? Okay. So I was like, well, I can't sell that, so I'm going to have to use it or something. So I was like, well, heck, I'll just start using it. And I burn it, and I ended up loving it. So it's like one of my favorite now. But by just smelling it, I didn't think that
Right.
I would like it.
Well,
When they burn, they're different.
They are different.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do.
When they warm.
No.
Yeah,
When
you
they're
can't say burn.
Oh, yeah.
Most everybody says burn.
It's not fire.
It's habit.
It is a habit, and most people say it. It's just a good habit
Melt.
to get out of
You melt it.
when you warm it,
And the other thing,
because they're warmers.
yeah,
when
that
you
is
warm
true.
it.
Yeah.
They don't get hot, they don't burn. You can stick your finger in it, rub it around, the dog can stick its tongue
And
in it, the
I
kids
do
can put
that
their finger in it.
demonstration.
It's
Yeah,
not
we play with
burning.
it all the time.
It's not
The
burning.
plugins.
Yeah.
So, and that they relate wicks and candles and house burning down and everything to that one word. When you warm it,
Warm.
because warm doesn't scare people.
So if you just started taking your basket party to every appointment that you had and doing this and watching for people and started showing your testers, you can find people right there every day, wherever you're going. If you go to a
Even if you don't have an
restaurant,
appointment.
No,
I know.
don't go beyond.
Just
she's going white shopping.
Yeah,
It says you without appointment. Go Rand Pop Shops.
Yeah, he's so funny. Oh, I thought this was Dr. Jeffries.
Just gonna sit in the office for
I guess that would work, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, this isn't Dr.
well, they do it on TV all the time, they go to the wrong one and stuff, you
She has
know.
a question.
Go to the lawyer's office.
Actually, it's not a question. I think when he was saying about the dog sticking his tongue in the wax, my youngest is a little over a year old, and he's constantly playing in his melted wax, and it does not hurt him at all. I just have wax all over the place.
They said it's like eating crayons.
Yeah,
It's just-
he eats crayons too.
They just like wax.
And my oldest one's 3, and he had this toy spatula, and he's like sitting there just plugging, and he's like chopping at the hard wax. So now I have chopped up wax and wax pieces all over the floor.
Well, the nice thing about them is when they spill, all you need is a warm rag
Yeah.
and it wipes right up. I actually, last night I was changing my plug-in and I went to turn it off. My hair went into it. I'm like, I had this big clump of wax on the end. I'm like, but just a warm rag and it came right out. So
And
that's,
on the carpet, you just take a paper bag and a warm iron and it will suck
Or a
it
curling
up.
iron. Or curling irons work too.
Wow.
I've had to get wax out of the carpet. I used a curling iron because I don't own an iron.
So how many of you guys, if someone's asked you what kind of wax that we use, you just said the same kind of wax that you find on the outside of an apple
I
from the
say
grocery
specially
store?
formulated because I read it in the book.
Hairpin.
Yeah, I tell people,
Yeah.
it's the same kind of wax as on the outside of an apple at the grocery store.
Really?
And
Yeah,
it's, yeah, it's exactly the
that's
same
right.
kind of, it's a food grade wax. Now, it is specially formulated in the fact that it's soft enough to warm by a light bulb, 25-watt light bulb, and release the scent. Because a lot of people say, can I use it with my tea light at home? Yes, but your tea light's a lot hotter, and it's going to melt it a lot faster, and your scent's going to release faster, so you won't get quite the value as if you use it with a warmer, and you won't, it's safer, and you don't have to worry about the tea light going out all the time.
I have an issue with people asking about using other wax with their warmers.
Well, most of the time other waxes are harder, so they don't melt as well. And now Scentsy has a policy that the warranty only works when you use Scentsy products with Scentsy products in the way they were designed. But that's what I tell people, you know what, you can try it, but it's probably not going to melt as well because it's not going to be hot enough, because we're all about safe. We just want safe, so we have softer wax.
Right, because Walmart came out with the
Most wax.
now.
Most wax, even beeswax, doesn't melt till 170 degrees. So if they put their wax in our warmer, they won't get a scent. They'll barely get it to warm up because wax just doesn't melt until then. And at least wax they use in candles. We made candles for 2 or 3 years, and in order for them to get enough stability to put the really heavy scent load in, because scent is oily and the candles are oily and the wax melts just by putting it in. So they put all kinds of chemicals in it. That's what burns. That's what comes out as soot when you turn them off. And we use wax in the products that we still make in our body care. Wax just doesn't melt at less than 100 degrees. It doesn't become liquid. And unless it becomes liquid, it's not going to throw off the scent. And so it doesn't matter what, they can put a really little piece in there that might melt, but it's not going to be big enough to do anything. So, like she said, let them try it. Please do.
With the Walmart ones, I seen them like a couple years ago, and I bought 2 of them for my tart burner, like with the tea light, and I thought, oh, these smell really good. They're like $2. And the same day, my friend called me and said, hey, I'm having a Scentsy party. I'm like, okay. And I thought I still had those ones that I bought from Walmart because they smelled really good at the time I bought them. And 6 months later, I don't know what happened to them. I mean, I didn't have them in the heat or anything. They were in a basket, hanging on my basketry, and the smell was horrible. I could not stand the smell. I had to throw them away. I have Scentsy bars from before I even joined, and they still smell awesome. But the ones from Walmart, I don't know what happened to the smell. I had them not in heat or cold or anything, and they were closed. After like 6 months, they were disgusting. I couldn't stand to smell them. But with the Scentsy ones, I have some from when I first bought them from her, and they still smell awesome.
Well, Scentsy is not a warmer company. Scentsy is a scent.
Right.
And they have a company that formulates their own scent.
Do you want to tell us what happened?
Okay. I was afraid you would come back out. He was like, oh my god. Okay, I really had to go pee really, really bad. And I walked into the bathroom and there's this hand sanitizer sitting on the toilet. And I was like, at first I was like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to move it, maybe it's to use. And I'm reading it, I'm peeing, and it says, congratulations, you have won the potty prize. Who says the potty's stinky business? Use this bacteria-free and sensational everywhere you go. And I was like, oh my gosh, should I set it down? Should I just let it here? I don't know if I should walk out here because I don't know who did this. But I was thinking too, after I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a wonderful idea. Stick this on your toilet, put your, even a restroom, wow, put your sticker on there, someone goes in there, they're going to pick it up. Who's going to be like, oh no, I don't want this?
So that's what I told them last night. It's called the first to potty prize because there's always going to be a guest that's going to go in and use the bathroom. So if you have it on the toilet seat and it says first to potty prize, and I love that little thing you guys came up with.
That's awesome.
So you
I
do
couldn't
it.
remember the saying you used. I was like,
No, that's great. So car freshener, but that would just go. Then she would know for sure it was for her because it was first to potty prize, and then that cute explanation. So it can be a car candle, it can be a cube of wax that they might have to come out and buy a plug-in at least for, or whatever, you know what I mean? So whatever you have, but it's so fun because then they're going to come out like this, especially, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm so embarrassed, but I won the
Yeah, I already saw this stuff. I'm like, I don't know, should I just set it down and leave it here? Or I'm afraid to walk out here. I don't know who's stuck it on the toilet. Should I hide it? What should I do?
So write that down in your memory books, first to potty prize.
Yeah.
And so just a fun way.
And you could think one up for the restaurant, for the waitresses, for
That is
the
awesome.
bus people,
Right.
for anybody, just so they remember you. And they'd see the card and they remember you. They like the product, they'll call you.
Just want to see what they say.
It's much easier than walking up and talking to somebody. I personally am not gonna go door to door. I was a missionary for
You
the church.
still won't even tell people.
I will
what we
not.
do.
Somebody asks me what Scentsy is, I tell them ask Becca. And it's been 3.5 years, and we've made a lot of money at it. I still ain't gonna talk to them about Scentsy because it's just not me. It's her.
So
And that's
he
good.
has to get really don't do that, just don't do that, I wouldn't do that, don't do that. And I'd be like, yeah, but we wouldn't be spending the money if I didn't do that.
Me and my kids would go out with her to a restaurant, would run and hide. Because we knew she was gonna get them.
No, all you have to do.
And she always did. Every time man would say, yeah, that person should join up right there
It's all
on the
about
computer.
personality because Crystal is what her personality, aside from the product, is what sold me to do the business. If it would have been anybody else, more than likely I probably would have done it.
But what's really cool is that Crystal's really outgoing and cute and darling and irresistible, But
Right.
what if you're quiet and you're shy? And all the people that are sitting there that came to the party that are quiet and shy, and they see the quiet, shy person doing it, and now they're like, this is a company for me. So every personality is just right, because I really believe God will, bring you to the right
That's
people.
why I try to find ways that I don't have to meet people. And they still want it. It's been really good. That's what I do best.
So I'm hoping that you guys will say, Becca, I hope, in fact, I will send you something really awesome.
I was thinking all the
If
places I could put that and make up a news, and not even, even like that. Just with the first to potty thing, set it right on top of just leave it on the table somewhere like it was an accident.
Right.
But are people gonna throw it away?
no, they'll
No.
definitely open it.
They're
Is
gonna
that
take- they're gonna-
waiters and waitresses are your best,
People.
You listen to the call then, right?
Oh yeah, everywhere we went, Hawaii, California.
That's
It didn't
because you've
matter.
got all this downtime while you're waiting for your food, right? So if you have your 8 or 12 best sellers there, and you pull them out while you're waiting and you're smelling, the waitress will come over and go, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, smell this. And then they start smelling, okay, what is
And then
this?
they walk back in the room and they start telling everyone else.
Uh-huh.
And then you have a bunch of waiters. And when
You
you
do.
sit around your table.
You do. And so there's no reason why you guys this week can't go to your doctor's offices or wherever you're going, your hair appointments or whatever with your basket party, going out to lunch or whatever, and do that and not email me and say, okay, Becca, I got this party or I got this new recruit or whatever. And if you do, then I will send you a gift.
I'm doing it. My son has a cast on his arm. 2 weeks. Goes back.
Because these are ways, there's no excuse to say, I don't know who to talk to, because these are ways, these are all different ways for you to find. And then once you get into that person and you're doing their party, then you're exposed to all of their friends and have the chance to book. Now, I'm one of those people that if enough people have done it and it's in my comfort zone, or I can push myself to my comfort zone, I can do it. So, in the direct selling world, you know, it's been going on for decades, and there's lots of successful people, and it says that if you're a terrible booker, you should always have still one party booked from your parties. And if you're decent, you'll have 2, and if you're good, you'll always have at least 3. And then I'm like, oh, it's proven, okay, you know, and it's been done by enough people, it's a statistic. So, but again, I like to do really, I have to have, I can't just come out and go, so do you want to have a party? You know, I can say you can earn it, you can earn it for free, and you know, I tell them about that. But so at a party, there's a couple games that I like to do, and that a lot of our team members have had super success with. And did you print that off? We talked about that.
I forgot to print off. I had it up today and I forgot to print.
So it's what
I'll
is,
send out email it to them.
okay, she'll send it to you, but it's how to recruit in minutes, and it's the party animal game, and you just have everybody a little piece of paper and pen or pencil, and you have a little prize, and you say, okay, this is the prize, and the person with the most points wins it, and it's really easy. You get a point for every candle you have in your house. So if they write down, oh my gosh, yeah, so they're thinking, oh, I have a candle or something. Well, what if it's a Glade plate? Yeah, that's fine too. Anything that makes your house smell good. Well, I've got one in every room. So you're like, okay, now these people are my kind of customer. They have something in every room. So they get points for that. They get points for every party they've been to. Well, what if it was does it have to be something? No, it doesn't matter what kind of party it was. Okay, so they get points for that. For every time they've held a party in the last 6 months or a year, they get a point. For every time, if they've ever been a consultant for any company, they get a point. So you know what I'm saying? So there's these little simple questions you ask them. It takes like 2 minutes. Everybody writes down their points. If they go, whatever the question is, you know, does that count? You go, yeah, that counts. Okay, because it's really not that important. Just, yeah, that works. And then what you found is all of a sudden, your people who do parties all the time, like to have parties, already been a consultant and thinking about being a consultant, has lots of candles, so you know who your party animals are. And when you do, there's usually several people at a time, and you're like, you know what, you should turn that party into free, your party animalness into a paycheck, you know. Talk to me about that later, you know, or free products. So that's a really quick way to identify them. The other one is the card game.
Then you give them 4 points.
No, that's what I'm going to now for the card game. So you have an ordinary deck of cards, and you can get ones that are flowery or ones that are just normal face or Betty Boop, whatever your personality is, doesn't matter, just cards. And you have your prize, and you say, okay, you guys, we're going to play poker. No, we're not going to play poker. So it's always funny, like, dang, I want to play poker, you know. So you say, okay, we're gonna put, this is the prize, and we're gonna play a game, and you guys, the person who has the most points values from the amount of cards they have wins this. How you get a card is you ask me questions about my company. And so then now they're thinking, well, what's your wax made of, you know, and they just start going through the catalog and they're asking you, and they can say, you can ask me about like how much I make, or how much my team leader makes, or whatever, you know, so you cover all aspects of the business. So anyways, they're having so much fun asking you questions that you wish you could tell them, but you don't want to stand up in the front of the room and lecture them. And they're not going to listen to you if you do that anyways, but now they're asking you. And so you hear we talk about that a lot, right? Do things that make them ask you. So they're asking you questions, so you usually have to put a time limit on it. And then you say, I'm sorry, but we need to move on. I want you guys to smell the smell, so we're going to quit. Except for I've got 2 more ways for you to get 4 cards at once. And then I say, so the first way to get 4 cards right now is once. Let me tell you about our basket party. So I show them a basket party. You can earn free product. Just take these testers, plug in your warmer at work for your friends, and collect orders, and then you can earn free product. And so, who wants to book a basket party? Usually get several people to do that. You give them 4 cards. Now you have your basket parties booked and explained, right? And then you can say, or if anybody wants to do like Erica did here tonight and have everybody over, we can do that too. You'll get 4 cards. And that's usually how you get your other parties booked. And so boom, then you give out your prize and then you go, let's, right?
Why wouldn't we have thought of that? That is like ingenious.
I didn't think about it.
Makes
One
it
of our
so
directors did.
comfortable that they just want the cards. They're like, hey.
Yeah.
They want to win something. That is so easy. What a great idea.
So, and that's how our most successful people have done so well, is by using these 2 games. Because bottom line, you're there to sell, but you're there to keep selling. And so, to keep selling, you've got to have parties. Now, some people also say, if you're interested in, being a consultant like me too, and joining tonight, and I'm probably too shy to do that, but we have gals who aren't, and they'll say, so if you want to join and become a consultant tonight too, you can get 4 cards. And they'll add that one in. I'm just so happy at that point to have my basket parties booked and my home parties booked that I don't do that, but so it's up to you.
That first game was actually how I hooked the sinker, Lori.
You just gave it away.
No, you did the money game.
Yeah, I used money with it instead of
Like
hard
she did paper money. Like I'll give you, I think it was like if you join, I'll give you $75. If you book a car,
much, but yeah.
like it was something like that. It was like a certain amount of money, like.
And then they could use them as coupons off their bill if for that night, or if they booked the party, it was like full value. I think I said about that on the call.
Yeah.
But I got the stuff and still didn't, because I was like.
But that
what?
was the game I used, and that you ended up signing up.
But I was like, when she said about you can use it like for a certain percentage off of your order tonight, and I was thinking, heck no, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna buy it for myself. I'm not gonna buy it from her. And I joined.
But yeah, that game does work.
Yes, it does.
And it's just easy.
I don't do this as a game, but what I started doing in the last month has gotten me a couple parties, and from every order when it comes, I put a little slip of paper in the bag saying if this was your party, you would have earned X amount free, this many half-price items, and if you would have been a consultant, you would have been this much, which I got off of the forum.
That's a
But I've gotten a couple
That's awesome.
parties booked from that, and then one recruit
I know.
just
They're doing good.
throwing
They're
that
doing really
in the bag.
That is
And
awesome.
I don't have to say anything at a party. I don't have to do a game. But people, when they get their order and they're like, "Wow, if I would have had this party, I could have got all this stuff for free. And if I join up, I can make this much extra just off of one party." So that's just an easy way to.
So you guys all understand that? Because that is something that, we train on. So even if they didn't, so you can put that in the order, and if they didn't order anything, you can send them a thank you card. Thank you so much for coming to Jackie's party. Just want you to know that she earned this much free stuff, and we really appreciate you supporting her. And, and then they can think, gosh, I didn't buy anything because I really didn't have the money, but I could do a party. So you can do it. And in the order, it's very appropriate, I think, to say how much the consultant, if you've been the consultant. I love that. That is huge. Huge. But, you have to kind of treat it like a business to get the full business of benefits. You know what I mean? And those are those kinds of things. So, any other questions?
I have a question. He's really good at answering them. What do you do with people who, like, she was saying that people were running away, and now I've had a couple incidents like the opposite, like they're all about it, and they're like, yeah, I want to do a party, but then they're dragging their feet, and like I'm going back, and like I give them time, and I'm going back to them, and they're like, yeah, and then they're dragging their feet some more, and like. I don't like to bug somebody, so like, what do you do with those people, like, that keep just dragging their feet?
Don't bug her.
I call everybody that I got contact information up to 8 times, because the proof is 80% of the people make their decision or finally commit the 5th, 8th time. But the 8th time, I will say, you know what? I've called you several times, and I don't want you to think I'm bugging you, but I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't, letting you down by not following up. So, but since it's been about 8 times, I just want you to know that the ball's in your court now, because I don't want to become a pest. So if you if you're interested, it'll be up to you to call me. And it's so amazing about half the people go, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's really been 8 months, you know what I mean? And I really am interested and I really wanted to do this. So about that time you just say, Ham, I just, I wanted to make sure I was doing right by you, but at the same time I don't bother you. So I just want you to know this is the last time I will be following up with you. So if you need it, just call me back.
So she's calling only once a month,
Yeah.
not every day or
So,
every week.
Well, I have a girl who wanted to do a party, and she said she didn't want to do a home party, and she wasn't interested, and then she's like, look, because I was telling her about the bus, I was like, you can just, it's at your leisure, you can take it place to place, you don't have to have people in your house. And she was like, okay, I want to do that. I gave her the basket party, and it's been 3 weeks. And every time I follow up with her, she was like, oh, I haven't really had a chance to get many orders. I need some more time.
Just
She's
go
kind of
pick
like
that up.
dragging her feet.
Give her a date.
You tell her, you know what, I understand, I'm sorry to push you, but I have like 6 people waiting for that basket, and I got to pick it up for them. That gives it more value, and if you drop it off and you say, just want you to know that I have people lined up for my basket, so, I'll be picking it up in 7 to 10 days or whatever, so it creates some more value.
And you could always use the salesperson thing. You could call up and say, I know you want to have a party, and I just had somebody cancel for next week on Thursday night, whatever it is. Would you like to do it then? And she doesn't have anything for next Thursday night, but at least she'll be able to tell her if she's making stuff up as it goes. And if she is, just say, I'll call you again when I get an opening. And if she has a basket party, you just say, I'd like to come pick it up. Like I said, have other people wait. It's if they feel, if you feel that you have to sell something to somebody, it's really hard on you. And you don't want it to be hard on you, because if it's hard on you, it translates to them. And the stress is enough as it is if they like it. When they like it, then that's why most people fail at this business, because they're not willing to ask over and over and over again, but to also stop when it's getting to be a real stress on you. Because you know after they've canceled on you 3 or 4 times that they're not ready. It's not their time. It's a timing thing. And it may not be. The husband just may have run off. You don't know what's going on in their life. So you don't blame them. You just allow them a way out, and you continue on. Because there's lots of people that you need to talk to.
Are you ready to feed these guys?
Yes. We have to do a couple door prizes here for everybody coming out today. You want to help me, Crystal?
There's nothing in there that's going to attack you.
No, there's no more potty fries.
You sure?
Yeah. You lost them,
I'm
sorry.
not going in there if it's booby trapped.
There's nothing.
If it's Scentsy trapped.
I do have one last question. How many people do a contract with their basket partners? Like when you send the basket out, because I'm very new to this. So what do you put in the contract? Like everything that's in the basket?
It's right on her website, and I recommend that everybody does it in the summer, because Erica just had a problem not getting it back. I've had a problem with the heat.
Yeah.
Please fill out the contracts. I'm a little shady on it myself. I don't always do it. If I know that and
Give
trust
someone
that.
all my stuff. And
But
then-
the first thing you should say is stress about the heat. I tell everybody, this is your lifeline, is like ice cubes. Do not leave it in the heat, because
Yeah.
it's quick. Like Jamie called me last night. She's like, Crystal, my brand new testers, what can I do? I told her, put the lid on, put them in hot water, put the other ones, put them in the microwave, and see what you can do with that. She's like, the girl said she put them in the night before, and now they're all, she's like, I'm gonna cry. She called me at 10:30 last night. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, just stress to them about the heat, because people don't think about it.
I mean, I had mine in my car for 5 minutes when it was like 100. Just going from point A to B. And then I started.
Those packing bags that we get are amazing.
Yeah.
I throw them away.
I just told her that. I just told Erica when they
Yeah.
asked me.
And I keep the little
Freeze
ice packs.
the ice packs. Yeah.
Debbie Mangan, a superstar director that's been with since Texas for quite a while, one of the early Texas leaders. She said that's been the best blessing for her business to live there where it's 100 degrees plus most of the year, you know. Because she always then she has to take her basket party with her whenever she goes. So when she's in the grocery store, it's there. She walks down the aisle spraying, you know, a room spray on the lilacs and violet. And then people go, that smells so good. Oh yeah, that's my scenting. Oh, what scenting? Oh, you know what scenting is? You know what I mean? And so, but because that way, because you always have it with you and you know you can't leave it in your car, then you have to take it with you, and then you're going to start playing with them, and you're going to spray your room spray, and you're going to get all that attention. We have gals that hang out in the candle aisle. They're bolder than I am.
Yeah, that's what
I
she
thought
was
about
saying
that,
the other day. I'm like, I can't tell you to do that because I don't do that.
My boyfriend keeps pushing me to go in Walmart where they're all at the candles and start handing stuff out.
I was like,
Like I haven't got myself to that point quite yet where I can just jump in and do
I
that.
was like, I can't even do that.
Where did you get your molds? Because
I make all of them. Every month I make all of them. I have built them.
The
I'm
tray.
saying, where do you get the tray?
Oh,
Like a extra
Michael's.
That's where I go to Michael's.
Stacey, I like them out.
They're candy
I
molds.
like them too. And then just
Or Walmart has some too.
No, I went to Walmart and they're like, nope, we only get them during the holidays.
They never have them. Go to Michael's,
Yeah, I got
but
those.
we always swap back and forth. All of us swap them. So if you want to go up tonight, I'll let you look. And if you just want molds, I have tons. I didn't make the Just Breathe yet
That's what I
because I was kind of busy with Ruth and doing all this, but I'll make them and you can pick them up anytime. Anytime. And the flyer of the month. We don't have a warmer and scent of the month yet. I'll give you those again. And a bar. That way you have it for when you go to a party if you want to plug it in.
I do mine in the microwave. I bought
Crystal, how do you do your
one
molds?
of the.
Me and Eric do it together and we do them some in the candy molds and then I do some without that. Like I do them on the cookie sheet with aluminum foil. If you watch it on YouTube, that's why it's all. I love it.
I was looking at some of those videos on YouTube.
I have fun doing it.
I have tons.
You just call it one day.
I find scratch and sniffs to work better in the summer because of your molds melting when people have them out and about with you, or if you have them. I find just taking the scratch and sniffs and sticking them on your face is better for the summer than
That's cool. That's
to do the molds in the winter because they're not as quick to melt.
Alright, who brought a covered dish tonight? Or some kind of food?
She brought cake. Everybody has to try that. It was the best.
I made it for my party that Crystal did, and she said, this is awesome.
I like almost didn't even eat because I'm like I was just starting out. I was like, I
And
didn't
then I
really eat
told
at
her,
the party.
and then I told her what the secret ingredient was in it, she's like, no way.
It has alcohol, so don't consume too much cake.
There's a whole block. There's like 4 tablespoons in the whole thing.
So like I'm in school again.
Let me turn on some lights. It's a little bit dark.
Lighting 9, David 7. What's his name? Ezekiel.
Alright.
Did you bring Christopher?
I don't care. I just want to have it.
When we come back next time, everybody that has a husband, please bring him.
My husband's here. He's hiding. Where is it? Hope he's
I'm coming out. I'm coming out of the Scentsy closet.
Hey, my husband finally admitted the other day that he didn't think I could do it, and he told this woman that he was working at her house, and was like, she really proved me wrong.
That is
She's like-
one thing his
She goes,
husband
"Can I
should
have a
never do.
catalog?"
For one thing, it encourages you guys.
It does.
Show him.
I'm so competitive. That was my best month. He's like, I'm up there. I remember when my first high paycheck, I jumped out of that office chair and called her. I'm like, Dad, like, do you know what I need to do? I'm like, hey, why don't you come up here and see what I made? And he's like, but you made that in a whole month. I made that in a month. I'm like, no, that doesn't count. Mine's better. Oh God, I was jumping up and down.
Because you don't feel like you're working.
I didn't.
You play on the computer. I play on the computer all the
Stacey,
time.
you emailed me. I didn't even know you. And I'm like, oh my God, I got this party. It's so awesome.